Hey guys, my name is Max Keeley. I'm from the class of 2018, where I was an offensive midfielder. And today I'm going to be presenting the DK9 award. Among other things, you've already heard from my classmates and friends about Drew's relentless work ethic, his unique ability to make connections, and his natural talents, both on and off the lacrosse field. I spent 7 years with Drew, 4 at Amherst and 3 in Boston. And in that time, the characteristic he showed that struck me the most was his fearless approach to life. This fearlessness showed up everywhere, and it allowed Drew, or it seemed to allow Drew, to push himself to limits that were far beyond what others believed was possible. Being fearless can mean a lot of different things in different settings. Whether it's diving headfirst into a ground ball, being willing to ask a question about something you don't understand, or sticking up for ideas, beliefs, and people in the face of popular opinion. I watched Drew do all of these things over the time that I was lucky enough to call him my friend, but there's one event in particular that stands out to me the most. One day in the early fall, we had all made our way to Puffer's Pond in an attempt to beat the stifling heat and humidity that Western Mass has to offer in the early fall. Those of you who have been to Puffer's before may know there's an area with a few cliffs that you can jump off of, which was exactly the kind of activity that Drew gravitated towards, and one that we would all gladly follow him into. That day was no different, and after a long swim over and a somewhat precarious climb, I remember finding myself on the edge of a cliff, realizing that I might be afraid of heights. So I'm standing there, looking down at the water, thinking about how far I'm going to have to jump to avoid a bad situation, and really was just considering calling the whole thing off. I leaned over and I said something to Drew along the lines of, how are you going to do this? Drew, who at the time was freshly recovering from a torn ACL, responds, "I'm going to do a backflip." So I started laughing until I realized that he wasn't joking, at which point I essentially started begging him not to do it. This was short-lived because you could tell right away, as with a lot of things DK did, that he was determined. After about 1 to 2 minutes of further calculations, sure enough, he executed a flawless backflip into Puffer's Pond. In the context of everything Drew did in his life, this is a pretty trivial story, but to me it embodies how he approached everything. He had the courage to make the most out of every moment in his life, and I believe this is part of what made him so magnetic and successful and loved. Most of all, his fearless approach to relationships, I think, made him a powerful teammate, friend, and brother. I encourage you all to pursue this kind of fearlessness, and I believe this pursuit should be intrinsic to any DK9 award winner. Thanks for listening, guys. Keep up the incredible work this season, and I just hope you know that we're extremely excited to watch you guys and see what you're capable of doing. Thank you.